Very warm welcome to all our viewers. You're watching BW TV. My name is Deep, and this is another episode of BW Tech Talks. Now, the smart wearable sector has seen a very healthy growth rate this quarter, and the brand we are interviewing today is Boult, which is holding the 5th position overall. We are here at Boult's corporate office in Gurgaon, and we will be speaking with the co-founder Varun Gupta. Are we good?
Yes, all set.
All right. So, finally, this has been in the process for a long time. Very interesting time for your organization, Varun. And also since this is our first interaction ever, take us through the journey. How has it been since the beginning? You launched this brand in 2017. Take us through the journey so far. What were the hurdles you had to cross? How has the market changed since then? How has the ecosystem developed since then to now? Yes.
Firstly, thanks a lot, Deep, for having me at BW. It's a pleasure to be speaking at BW. I go a long way. My first job, I had actually been to BW office and spent some time there. Worked for a couple of days under Anurag as well. So it's like nostalgia to be coming back and speaking on your platform. So it's a pleasure. But coming back to more specific question, how was our journey? So it's been a long journey with a lot of roller coasters in it. It's been a lot of fun, and of course, as you rightly mentioned, there have been a lot of difficulties. The biggest one being, let's say, we're a bootstrap firm, so we haven't had the so-called hand of God, and thus we have had to steer through the difficulties in this journey, especially in an extremely competitive market and yet very price-sensitive market like ours. So we had to create products. We're in a category where we have to focus on innovation and speed. So to be able to grow at that pace and at the pace that we've grown from just a 2-member team to now about 600 people. We've grown from 2 crore rupees in the first year to now 600 plus crore, about 700 crores this year. To be growing at that pace at about 80-100% every year, yet to be profitable, unlike our competitors where they're heavily funded and some of them are not profitable. So it's extremely critical, yet very difficult to stay relevant to our audiences, to grow at that pace, and yet to be profitable. So it's been a long journey. We've come a long way from starting with a platform called Myntra. We were exclusive with them. Then we moved to Amazon, Flipkart. We were just an audio company to begin with. We used to call ourselves Boult Audio to begin with. And a couple of years back, about a year and a half back to be precise, we launched smartwatches as a category. So we became a more holistic wearables player. Thereby, we launched on Amazon, Flipkart. We went to a D2C platform. Now we've gotten live in offline. We've gone international. Now today, by the grace of the Almighty, we sell a product every few seconds. We have sold over 2 crore products till date. We manufacture about 1 million units every month in India. So we're now a 100% make in India brand. So to have come a long way, it feels great. It feels proud, but of course, it's all by virtue of the love of the consumers and my brilliant team that we have at Boult.
Okay. You haven't raised a single rupee yet.
So we've been completely bootstrapped. By definition means we have not raised any single penny from any external investors. So right now, Tarun and I are the 2 co-founders, and we're the equal and only shareholders at Boult. While of course we have an ESOP structure, so that empowers and facilitates other team members at Boult also to own a certain share of equity, but fundamentally in terms of the majority shareholding, it's Tarun and me.
So buying the ESOPs, all the equity belongs to you guys.
Absolutely.
So you're looking for funding or no?
We're okay with external investors coming in, but we're not very actively going on because we do understand the process of fundraising is a very long process that's very demanding and time consuming.
Okay.
So we rather focus our energies on growth and value creation. We know sooner or later there will be some relevant strategic investor where we might see some opportunity and some synergy happening, and that's when. So we are not just looking for financial investment, we're more focused towards somebody who can bring value to the table.
Okay. This is very interesting. It's been more than 7 years now since the company launched, right?
Maybe 6.5 to be precise. I mean, we turned 7 this June to 2024.
Okay. So why haven't you gone out looking for investors till now?
So a few reasons.
Yeah.
So one, we've been growing at such a pace organically that we've never really had the need to go out. Secondly, we've been profitable. So typically, for any growing organization, there's something called a run rate or a certain burn rate, because of which they can only survive a certain few months, or maybe a year or two. But we have been growing. We've been profitable from day one. every year that we've existed in the system, we've been profitable. So in anything and everything that we would want to do as a brand, we've done it. We're focused on innovation, R&D. We've invested capital infrastructure into setting up plants, machinery, people, research, as I said. We've
Okay.
been focusing on marketing. We've gotten shop quality brand ambassadors like Ricky Kaushal, Kriti Sanon to begin with in the year 2019. Now we have Saif Ali Khan and Surya Kumar Yadav to do media, to do IPL, to do digital. So we're a great workplace for our team members to build a manufacturing facility. So we have the flow funnels. We've been doing the right things, but of course, there's focus on economic, financial sustainability. That's of course something which lies in our DNA. So by virtue of that, we've never really had a hard need to go out there and speak to investors. We've spoken to some also in the last 24 months since 2022 and up till now. The market has not been so conducive for fundraising because of the tailwinds from the West, because of the so-called economic depression coming from the West and the world.
Right.
But we do see the market getting better, and once it gets better, that's when we'll maybe be a little more active.
How has the market changed since when you launched to now? Because it's been a roller coaster ride for brands like you, especially in this hyper competitive market. There's the pre-COVID era, there's the post-COVID era. How has the market changed? What are the trends that we've seen in the recent times?
So I'll break it down into a few parts. I'll speak from, let's say, audio. I'll speak about from a smartphone lens and maybe other categories that are coming up. So audio in the year 2017 when we launched was the era where the wired was moving to wireless, and we launched our brand as a complete wireless brand where we wanted to position ourselves as a complete wireless brand. And that was a year or two before that. Apple had started moving the headphone jacks from their phone. So compelling the people to start moving towards wireless. And that's how the entire wireless industry became a
Biggest downfall in smartphones, in my opinion, but okay.
let's say biggest downfall in the wired earphones industry. And actually, that actually catapulted the growth of wireless earphones as an industry because before that, Apple and a lot of other smartphone companies used to give out in the box wired earphone.
Right.
So people actually never cared to buy any earphone because they used to get standard default earphones within the box. But now suddenly because they pulled out not just the jack, but also the earphones out of the box. So people have to now have to buy earphones and more importantly have to buy wireless earphones. And the ASP shot up because a typical wired earphone would be under 500 rupees in India. And while the wireless earphone started to shoot up at an ASP of 2000 rupees. Now, of course, it's gotten
Much lower, yeah.
and then the industry grew, not really with a hockey stick curve, but it really grew at about 100% plus. And around COVID, it saw an exponential curve because thanks to COVID, the entire world moved indoors. There was a lot of consumption of media in the form of entertainment, education, in form of binging on the streaming platforms, be it social media, etc. So, and of course, people had to move to their homes to start taking work calls instead of physical meetings. Everything happened on laptops. So, from a work, entertainment, and education, these three pillars started increasing the consumption of audio products a lot more. And thanks to that, industry exponentially grew from the year 2020 up till, let's say, 2021 end. And thereby, it has been still been going by over 50%. So that even industry has grown. But in audio as a category, we've seen the ASPs go down from the year 2017. So it started at, let's say, an ASP of 1800 to 2000 rupees. Today, it's an ASP of 1000 rupees. Having said that, whenever any industry matures, so right now this industry is maturing. So we do see the ASPs, so basically the ASPs go down as the industry matures, and then it starts going up. That is what we've seen in the consumer electronic or smartphone as a category.
Yeah.
So now we see the ASPs going up. Now we see consumers are buying the products for the second time, and they're buying higher ASP products. They're more aware about the features. And since it's a second purchase, they're buying ENC, and all of those upgrades. Speaking of smartphones as an industry, it started growing exponentially post 2020. And in fact, it's just grown up. Let's say it has gone from a few $100 million, rather a $50 million market to about $1 billion market just within the last 3 years. See, that's as an industry has grown, but of course now that's also the industry. As an industry, smartwatches is stabilizing. So and the ESPs are still going down exponentially. So about 2 years back, the same watch was sold out for about 3,000, 3,500 rupees. Is now today sold at 1,300 rupees. And the ESP possibly in the next 12 months will also dip to about 1,000, 1,500 rupees.
Okay.
So that's where we see a big dip happening, but the industry is still growing. There's still a lot of penetration happening, first-time usage happening in smartwatches. Now, speaking about new categories, let's say smart rings, or any of the smart devices or any of the smart communication devices. So we do see some shift happening. We do see some shift happening where consumers are looking for something new, something more portable.
Right.
There are companies which are coming out with a proposition of, let's say, launching a SIM card within a watch, or a lot of new innovation is happening. So we do see this IoT and smart wearable category to grow further. While the medium might shift from, let's say, a product, a smartwatch to a ring to another smart device. Audio products, the form factors have changed. They've moved from neckband to true wireless. Maybe in another few years, we might see another form factor or another, or true wireless is offering some other capability in terms of health monitoring and stuff. The medium and the instrument might change, but as a category, because we as a country are evolving, we're evolving through acceptance of more tech, and it's thanks to better penetration of smartphones and better digitalization using usage of accessibility of the internet. So consumption of these devices is going up by every passing day. So we do see this industry further growing, and the consumers are becoming more aware and mature about this category.
If we break down your brand catalog at the moment, how much is TWS? How much is wired earbands? How much is smartwatches?
So we primarily have been an audio brand, and smartwatches has just happened to us in the last 18 months. So about 75% of the revenue still comes from audio products and 25% comes from smartwatches.
Okay.
So out of a total 500, about 50% of the revenue comes from true wireless, which is the biggest category. And we're miles ahead of the rest of the competition, only second in this category. And in neckband, about 20-25% of our revenue, smartwatches is about 25% of our revenue, and the last 5% is speakers and all other peripheral categories. That's how.
You mentioned in a statement that Boult is looking for a 1,000 crore revenue in FY24. How far are you?
So we already comfortably crossed 500 crores this year, and we're going to be landing anywhere between 650 to 700 crores this year, which is still good 60% growth over the last year's number.
Yeah. Speaking of growth, I mean, the entire audio smart wearables market has grown more than 40%. Q3, the data just came in, right?
Yeah.
And if I look at your growth, especially, it's 267% growth as a smart wearable track. However, if I look at the overall market share, and if I look at the market leader, your share is 1/5. What kind of strategies are you looking forward to increase that, to climb up that ladder?
Sure, good question. So that's a question that we also ask internally. Then how do we bridge that gap? So we've grown, of course, way beyond the category average. Few reasons. A, of course, we've been making brilliant products and brilliant reviews. Our hit rate in terms of amount of products that become successful after launches is about 75 to 80%, while the industry average is about 30-35%. Also, which means our products are way more stable, where we take a little more time in terms of our product development, but they're way more stable. Secondly, we've also been able to create a new category for us in form of smartwatches. So we've grown exponentially from a baseline of 0 to nearly, about 100 plus crore category within the smartwatches. So that has catapulted a growth. Thirdly, we've also gotten into offline. So we have been in the last 6 years just been an online only brand, and we've now started to use offline as a big channel for us. So that's giving us exponential growth.
Okay.
So, and of course, also we're launching speakers, home audio, and a couple of other categories. So, and by doing the right thing, we're focused on marketing, further penetration, building great products for our customers, creating further value. So all of these factors put together have helped us grow way beyond the category average. And of course, the focus is to continue that growth to further bridge the gap between the biggest player in the segment and us.
Consumers want affordable products, but they're also aspirational, right? They want to move up to better quality products, more premium products. How do you see this market evolve?
So speaking of affordability versus premiumization, so we see whenever any category evolves and it goes at an exponential rate, and we've seen across every consumer electronics as a category or maybe even other categories,
Right.
we do see the ASP is dipping. So which means affordability is the focus, because when we speak about first-time buyers, they are risk averse and they want to be investing minimum amount of money,
Right.
and seeking maximum value. So that happens. So there are two parts in this growth. One is penetration. So whenever any brand is looking for penetration, they further drop ASP. Then when we penetrate further in tier 2, 3, 4 towns,
Right.
and when they're first-time buyers, they're looking for lower ASP products and very simple terms, affordable products. And when we speak about the other part of growth is repurchase, is when consumers come back and buy a better product. And that's where we see consumers looking for high ASP products. That's when products, consumers like you who are willing to buy the second earphone, third earphone, maybe fourth earphone, that's when you'll be looking at an ENC product, ANC product, products with higher battery, products north of 1,500, 2,000 rupees.
Right.
So that's where we're seeing growth as well. So we do see in audio as a category, we will see ASPs now because we've seen enough penetration. We'll see ASPs shift by about 10%, 5% every year in the upward direction.
Okay.
In smartwatches as a category, we do see up till the year, up till end of 25, we see the ASP going down by about 10, 15% every year, possibly thereby looking at an upward graph in terms of the growth of ASPs or the selling price. So we do see the category evolving and maturing, but the consumers are becoming, when they start buying second-time products, that's when we see the category move towards a little more high ASP products, whereas the consumers in the market become more aware about the product.
Okay. I think in FY23, your spread between audio wearables and smartwatches was more like 80-20,
More like 85,
85-15.
I mean, towards the second half of the year, because we just launched in 20 to second half.
Okay.
So you might see for those months, it would be 85-15, but in entire year, the consumption would be 80-20 would be then, but in the entire year might be anywhere between 12 to 13%.
Okay.
But this year, we should be seeing about 25% of our revenue coming from smartphones.
Smartwatches.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This one thing that always makes me very curious, it's the new buzzword, AI. Every tech brand is leveraging this to either sell their products or actually make the products better. How do you see this, new generation technology being integrated into the smart wearable sector? I believe you have some upcoming products that also leverage the terms artificial intelligence.
Sure. So there are two parts to it. A is how do you approach a product in terms of its design,
Right.
that can use AI in a better fashion to give out simpler and easier solutions to a consumer. And second is how do you, at the face and the interface of the product, make it more AI adaptive and AI friendly for a consumer where he himself and directly interacting with AI.
Okay.
So from a behind the scenes, let me put the first category as behind the scenes category. So we are working, of course, that's the job of our full-time product team, where we are developing solutions to make our products seamless, be it working on the noise cancellation, be it connectivity, be it dual device pairing. We've come up with new tech called Sonic Prism PLC, where we work on the sound processing in terms of ability to understand what is noise and unwanted sound and what is the wanted sound for the microphone,
Right.
for the devices, for normal music streaming, etc. So there is a lot of behind the scenes processing that happens to understand what is wanted by the consumer, what is not, how to give a better connectivity, give better minimum latency, higher transmission rate, higher sound quality, etc.
Okay.
So that is more behind the scenes. So that's, of course, as the tech evolves, we and our product team keep evolving with that tech to give out a better final product where a consumer might or might not see or appreciate the usage of AI. But also the idea is the consumers are becoming more adaptive and more understanding of AI as a tech. So we are making it tech adaptive, and there are new products coming out with where consumers can use GPT by use of a button.
Right.
Just like our products have a Google 3D voice assistant, that this by press of a button they can actually consume and communicate with Google and Siri. So we're coming out with the product.
It has been there for a long time.
Google and Siri have been there, but
Not this feature.
not so much. I mean, haven't been into mainstream. There have been niche products that have come out.
Okay.
But the idea is to make it how to make it more seamless and how to allow a customer to communicate, to make more decisions and not do research, for example, filling out forms or etc. But how to make decisions in terms of what direction to go in, whom to call, how to call, or to just take quick decisions without looking at the smartphone.
Do you believe this AI is transforming from just a marketing gimmick to an actual technology that makes a real impact in the products?
Absolutely. So for me personally, I think AI and GPT have been the biggest technological disruption since the internet happened in the year 1990s.
Right. Agree.
So I do see in the next, well, we've seen that come out and break into the clutter, break the clutter and come into mainstream. But I'll see in the next 5 years from, let's say, 2025 to 30, AI will become more applicable to consumers. Right now, AI is more B2B, as I said, more behind the scenes. But we'll see more end consumers becoming aware, and AI will not just be an option, it will be an integral part of every consumer's life, be it through smartphones, laptops, or any other tech, or including smart gadgets like ours.
Okay.
It will become more penetrated across every section of the consumer.
But do you think this will happen in the mass market product? That's what I'm more interested in.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the idea then also because it's a more democratized technology, it's not because it's an open source technology, because that allows a lot more brands and categories to start using that tech in their products because it's not closed, it's not patented, it's not owned by an organization. Nobody has to pay a license fee for that. So that allows a lot of brands like us to start using that and start giving an end consumer for a price of 1 to 2,000 rupees a product that is AI enabled, and that is how it will start penetrating further. In fact, I mean, a basic Chat GPT membership or a Google Bard or any such membership is free. Of course, there's a freemium version where you have to pay for a higher feature. You might have to pay a certain price, but the idea is that of course it will get the number, and in fact, and it is actually penetrating the masses.
Boult recently expanded in Nepal, right? So my first question is like, why Nepal? Why not any other of the Southeast Asian countries? Why Nepal? Why not Africa? Why not Middle East?
So of course, proximity helps definitely.
Okay.
And so we are and would be penetrating to other Southeast Asian countries as well.
Okay.
So this just happens to be our first step into going international. While we also
Is
launched
this information like out there yet or no?
one of the other countries exactly, I might not be comfortable speaking right now, but we already launched in UK.
Okay.
We launched in Nepal, and of course we'd be getting into other geographies as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How much is the marketing spend at the moment?
The exact number I might not be able to put, but as a percentage, it's in teens, which means it's between 10 to 20% of the entire top line PNR.
Okay.
So we do pump a lot of in marketing investments in our platforms that we operate on, which is Amazon, Flipkart, other e-commerce platforms on our D2C platform. There's a lot of strength going on Meta and Google. We do YouTube, which is a part of the Google network. We do work with influencers, communities. We work with offline partners as well. We do work with brand ambassadors. So there's a lot of marketing happening. So just the fact that we have to be relevant wherever our consumers are, we have to go out there, be relevant, and be active and be seen by our consumers. Only then, of course, we as a brand, we get that goodness in terms of consumers loving the brand and loving the products.
Okay. If you don't mind answering, what's your CAC at the moment?
On platforms that were range between about 100 to 200 rupees.
Okay.
On outside e-commerce platforms, it shoots up beyond 500 rupees.
Okay. My next question is a bit like a two-parter, right? Here, do you believe that there are some restraints in the smart wearable segment now that are slowing down the growth of the brands that have already established themselves? Like, as you rightly mentioned, the market has changed since back when you launched the brand. Do you feel that there are some limitations that the brands have now that they didn't have earlier? Some restraints that are, slowing down the growth? And do you believe it's a zero-sum game yet for smart wearable brands in India?
So by restraints, you mean by the category growth or within the brands? What's
By
your-
category growth.
Okay. So yes, we do see the category flattening to a certain extent, not in terms of the overall sales, but the growth rates are not exponential anymore.
Right.
But this is about a subcategory. See, overall IoT and wearables as a space is still growing heavily. As I said before, that the instrument or the channel or the product or the subcategory might see temporary flattening or might see maybe even in future degrowth as well. But overall, IoT as a space will keep on going because we believe consumers are becoming more adaptive. Overall, tech and smartphones as industry has better penetration, and India as a country is becoming more tech adaptive and consuming a lot more media, entertainment, and they're becoming more health. They're focusing more on health and they're becoming more aware about health indicators. So thus, overall, there'll be more growth further within this category, but we do see some slowness coming in some categories, but that's not something that we're concerned about. Also, the second factor is about competition. So, of course, all the categories that we operate in, and especially being in India, being a developing country, we do understand we come with a constraint where we are dealing with price-sensitive consumers, and consumers to some extent are also, apart from our loyal to brand, but also very loyal to pricing, or rather, we say a conjunction of brand and pricing as value, then they're more loyal to value than anything. Gone are the era where consumers are only loyal to a certain brand. Right. So we have to offer great value and great price, and that's what consumers will value. So thus we do see a huge amount of competition, but that competition in any growing category. So good competition is a sign of good growth in that category and good overall size of the category. So if a category is not growing or does not have great size, will not invite a lot of competition.
Okay.
Having said that, I don't think it's a zero sum game. A lot of competition has come in, but anytime something new happens in the category, we do see some new market creation. So we saw some international players come into this category and start launching smart rings for example.
Right.
Now we don't think it is a zero sum game that smart rings will start eating away a share from smartwatches or smartphones. But did see a launch of a new category, and we are going to see some huge amount of penetration of that category. So, and it creates category. So whenever any brand or any new company comes into this category, we do see something new happening that it makes the pie bigger.
Okay.
But of course, whenever there is competition, there will be some cannibalization. Whenever a brand is growing exponentially like ours, it will eat away some share out of some competition. But overall, because the pie is growing bigger, because we're still serving a market of 1.4 billion people. So we don't see that, okay, it is just a zero sum game that the brands have to just fight out for their share within a small limited pie.
So this perception of a glass ceiling being there in the smart wearable segment, you think it's not true?
I personally don't think it's true.
Okay.
Temporarily, within a subcategory, as I said, we might start seeing flattening of growth. But overall, as a category, overall consumer electronics is growing, and consumers are becoming more aware and more adaptive and more open to new category and new tech. So that allows the market to grow further, and we see open skies rather than glass ceiling.
And I want to ask you about your expansion plans, but I want to modify it a little bit. What are you doing right now to, close the gap between the market leaders and you? And that includes expansion. Like, are you looking forward to opening actual physical shops? Like, is the brick and mortar model on the table as of yet or no?
So there are multiple facets to growth. So one is category growth. We're looking into further penetration further into our categories, in form of speakers, home audio, in form of launching more and better products in our category. We're very new in smartwatches as a category, so we have not completely penetrated well enough or done justice to our brand in terms of launching enough better products within smartwatches as a category. Thirdly, we're launching into offline as a category. So speaking of that, exclusive brand outlets is something that you're hinting towards.
Right.
That's not a core part of our strategy, because right now we're already live at about 4,000 point of sales, and the idea is to be available at 10,000 plus point of sales in the next 6 months. So the idea is to be available at tons of stores and be available at every zip code rather than just launching 4 or 8 or 10, 12 outlets.
So it's not.
Once we've penetrated at about 90% of where we should be, that's when we'll start looking at EB or exclusive brand outlets to be available in major cities and major addresses for our customers to be going out there and experiencing products before they're buying at so-called experience centers. So offline is a major channel for growth. In new international geographies are a major channel for growth. And thereby further more relevant and seen by customers in form of marketing are, I think, for us, major levers for growth.
Okay. So, like, if we go into more detail, you either play on price or you increase the volume. Which way are you go for?
So to be honest, in our category, we are work on both. So yes, we of course have to be not being relevant, not being affordable is not an option today. So now we have to work on volume. We have to go on top lines as well. While of course, possibly we're the only brand in this category which is profitable. So we does have to still be very cognizant of our bottom lines to make sure that we are more financially and economically sustainable.
All right, smart answer. Yeah, sure. I mean, you have to play with the masses, otherwise,
Yeah.
that is the lion's share of the market.
Right.
What is the big picture? Since we are moving towards the closure of this interaction, I want to understand what is the big picture for Boult now. I mean, it used to be Boult Audio, now it's Boult because you
Expanding beyond auto products.
Of course. So that was the strategic move, right? Smart rings are on the table now. Smart glasses are there. I think there are Indian brands who have already launched their smart rings. Samsung, the tech giant, will be launching its smart ring in the latter half of the year, I believe. Is Boult looking forward to launch a smart ring, by the way?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
What about smart glasses?
Smart glasses are on the queue, so we are working.
Okay, good to know. So yes, what is the big picture for Boult as a brand?
So we just don't want to be associated as an audio only brand, while of course audio has been a main force in being, the main category that we grew in. But we want to be seen as an international brand operating across multiple categories in wireless and IoT in space. So that's the bigger picture. We want to be there across the globe and not just restrict ourselves to India and be across categories so that we're able to reach out to maximum number of consumers and make tech affordable and accessible to everybody.
One of the key features of Boult as a brand, I believe, has been that, you sell what you say. I mean, there have been examples in the past, in the recent past, actually, where brands have been accused of false advertisement. What they portray and what they sell are not very similar. Bolt Rover actually is like one of my favorite smartwatches.
You've used it.
Yes.
That way, yeah.
I've lost it recently. I went to Dubai and I left it at the hotel. But anyway, I think we would close this we'll close this interaction by asking you, as a young leader in this segment, what would you say to other players who are looking, to make their mark, to make their footing in this industry?
So it's a growing market. We are not scared of competition, and we'd encourage new players to come into this category.
Okay.
It's a growing market. We still are serving a huge population and growing population of 1.4 billion people. So just keep innovating, keep making newer products, but of course there has to be something new in this. So just we're replicating, we think of replicating any larger international player, we will not be able to succeed. So there has to be some spark, some spice, something new in the product or service that you make it. And as long as you're offering a great product which has something new at a great value to an Indian consumer, we have millions and billions of people who are actually willing to buy your products.
Okay. I just forgot. What was the split you were mentioning that you will be having by the end of this financial year? Smart watches and
Smartwatches this year should be about 25%, and the rest will be audio.
Okay. And what about the revenue numbers? Smartwatches and smart audio wearables.
So smartwatches this year should be about 150 to 200 crores.
Okay.
And the rest about 500 crores from audio.
Okay. Thank you, Varun. It was a great interaction.
Thanks a lot for having me over.
Yeah.
I'd love to interact further and come over for further conversations at BW.
Of course,
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, man.